Okay, this chapter shows Solomon at the height of his glory, okay, unmatched in wisdom, wealth, and honor. It begins with the famous visit from the Queen of Sheba and ends with Solomon's death, closing the golden age of Israel, okay. It doesn't encompass his fall in Chronicles, okay, like it did in Kings. So the first part of the chapter covers the Queen of Sheba visits Solomon. The Queen of Sheba, likely from modern Yemen, Ethiopia, hears of Solomon's fame and travels with a massive caravan, okay? Camels with spices, vast quantities of gold and precious stones. She tasked Solomon with hard questions, and Solomon answered all her questions. Nothing was too hard for him. She's overwhelmed by his wisdom, his palace, the food on his table, the organization of his officials, the clothing of his servants, the burnt offerings at the temple, and she declares,
"Blessed be the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and placed you on his throne."
She gives Solomon 120 talents of gold, huge quantities of spices, precious stones. Okay, I think I already said that. Solomon gives her back whatever she asked for and more. God's wisdom is undeniable. Even foreign rulers recognize his glory through Solomon. The second part of the chapter covers Solomon's wealth and splendor. The chapter describes Solomon's unimaginable wealth. Okay, gold flowed into Jerusalem, right? So 666 talents of gold yearly, okay, which is over 22 pounds. 666. That's a polemical number. All his cups and utensils were made of gold. Silver was as common as stones, okay? His throne was legendary, made of ivory and overlaid with gold. 6 steps leading up, lions on each side, no throne like it in any kingdom. Military power. So let's talk about it. 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots. 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horses. Israel became the center of international trade. Horses and chariots imported from Egypt, exported to kings of the Hittites and Arameans. Solomon's kingdom becomes the wealthiest and most honored of his era, a direct fulfillment of 2 Chronicles chapter 1. The third part of the chapter covers the scope of Solomon's influence. The world seeks Solomon's wisdom. Kings send gifts here after here. Nations come to hear his insight. He is the most respected king on earth. When wisdom is at the center, influence naturally expands. The fourth part of this chapter covers Solomon's death, okay? So it jumps to his death. As I said before, it doesn't talk about when some of his wives led him astray. Okay, the book concludes his reign. Solomon reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. He dies and is buried in the city of David. His son Rehoboam succeeds him. The rest of Solomon's acts are recorded in the writings of Nathan the prophet, Ahijah the Shilonite, Iddo the seer. The golden age ends. The next chapter begins the decline of the kingdom because Solomon's sons lacks his wisdom. So what are the key lessons from the 2 Chronicles chapter 9? The first one is God's wisdom is undeniable. Even foreign rulers acknowledge it when they see it lived out, okay? Second lesson, prosperity can be blessing but also a test. Solomon's wealth was from God, but later it would tempt his heart, told in Kings, as I said before. Third lesson, leadership reflects God when it's rooted in wisdom, okay? The Queen of Sheba blesses God, not just Solomon. His leadership points upward. The fourth lesson is even the greatest human kingdom is temporary. Solomon dies, glory fades, only God's kingdom endures forever. So in summary, the 2 Chronicles chapter 9 reached the height of Solomon's reign, okay? The Queen of Sheba confirms his unmatched wisdom. His wealth becomes legendary and his influence spans the world. Yet the chapter ends with his death. A reminder that even the greatest human kingdom is fleeting, okay? Don't forget to subscribe and share.